everyone, welcome back to Chaotic Strategies TCG. We're coming at you with another how-to mini-series, and in this series we're going to be teaching you how to play Pokemon the trading card game. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Trav, this is Chaotic Strategies. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that way you are always informed when we post new videos coming at you weekly. Since the video game debut of Pokemon in February of 1996, Pokemon started to take the world by storm, catching little monsters and training them and evolving them to battle each other. Later on, in October of 1996, Pokemon released the first trading cards to start the trading card game that went hand in hand with the video games that came out for the Nintendo's Game Boy. Shortly after that, an animated series was created and released both in Japan and the United States, and it took the world by storm. Pokemon blew up. It is one of the most popular franchises in the world today. Everybody has heard about Pokemon or has seen Pokemon. A lot of us in our generation grew up with Pokemon, and we still love it today. Collecting trading cards, collecting merchandise, playing Pokemon Go, playing everything that's come out over the years. Everything about Pokemon as far as the video games go and the trading card is very, very simple. The simplicity of this game can't be matched by any other card game out there right now, which is why so many people absolutely love this game. This game is also considered one of the big three in terms of trading card games, only to be matched by Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. Going into the early phases of this game, the players start with a deck no more than 60 and no less than 60 cards in their deck. Each player starts by drawing 7 cards for their hand. There is no maximum hand limit, so you can have as many cards in your hand as possible. So the whole object is to get your basic Pokemon out onto the field. So each player starts with one basic Pokemon. So I have 2 basic Pokemon in my hand, so I'm going to put one right up here. Okay, I'm going to move the deck over just a little bit. So one basic Pokemon there, and then any other basic Pokemon that you have, will go into your bench down below your basic there. You can have a maximum of on your bench. So just like in the games, Ash can only carry 6 Pokemon at a time. You can only have 6 Pokemon at a time as well. 5 on your bench plus 1 up here to battle. 5 Pokemon. If neither player has a basic Pokemon to start with in their hand, they can do what's called a mulligan. You can shuffle as many cards as needed back into the deck and redraw that same amount of cards until you have a basic Pokemon to start with. For however many times that you have to mulligan, your opponent gets to draw that many cards. So if you have to mulligan twice before your opponent goes, they get to draw 2 cards. Once you have your cards set, your basic Pokemon set, your hand set, you have to draw from the top of your deck 6 point cards face down. Okay? So then each person flips a coin. They call it heads or tails. Whoever goes, they get to choose whether they want to go first or second. So going into pretty much your whole startup phase of this, if you end up going first, you cannot attack or evolve your Pokemon your very first turn. But you can stack energy. So I have 2 different energies in my hand. I have a metal energy and I have a fairy energy. So going into my setup phase, we'll just say I go first. Going into my setup phase, I have Lugia as my basic starter Pokemon. So I'm going to go ahead, since white energy here, it's kind of hard to see, the white energy down here, that can be any energy can be placed onto him. So I'm going to go ahead and place 1 metal energy onto him. So since he requires 3 energies, you can only place 1 energy on any given Pokemon at all during your turn. Once you have enough energy stacked up onto the card for its requirement, so Lugia's ability requires 3 energy in order to activate, and he does 60 damage. Once we have the energy stacked up, then we can utilize that. Some cards have a static ability, like Lugia's here. As long as the Pokemon is your active Pokemon, any damage done by attacks from your opponent's active Pokemon is reduced by 20 before applying weakness and resistance. So not all Pokemon have that, but some do. So whenever you or an opponent destroy each other's cards, so if I was to destroy one of my opponent's cards, I would be able to take one of these and put it into my hand. I could take one of those prize energies and put it into my hand. Okay, so a recap of the beginning stages of the game. We start with a deck, no more, no less than 50 cards. We pull 7 cards from the top of the deck. That is our starting hand. We take any basic Pokemon that we have and we put one in the active slot, and then we put the rest down in the bench. The bench, no more than 5 Pokemon. If we can't or don't have any basic Pokemon in our hand, we can mulligan. For however many times we mulligan, our opponent gets to draw that many cards before they start their turn. Once you have that done, you draw 6 prize cards off the top of your deck, put them over to the left hand side. Then you guys get to flip a coin to decide who goes first. During your first turn, either player cannot attack or evolve Pokemon. So then you can utilize start stacking energy on your Pokemon. Only 1 energy can be placed per turn, unless you have a trainer or support card that allows you to do otherwise, which can also be played this turn, which we will go over in the next video. And that is this week's how-to video on how to play Pokemon, the trading card game, the basics. It's just the very bare bone basic intro into the game, your starting point. Next week, I will go over on how to properly use your support, trainer, and your stadium cards, along with going into battle phase and how to utilize some different techniques going into that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned next week for the follow-up video to this one. We're going to be going over everything throughout the next couple weeks in these series, going into how to EX evolve, GX evolve, and just utilizing everything that we can in the trading card game of Pokemon. If you guys liked the video, by all means smash that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what you'd like to see. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, always stay notified on videos that we are pumping out weekly. Again, be sure to follow us on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, right here on YouTube. Hope you guys are being safe out there. Be sure to wash your hands, and we'll see you in next week's video.